Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of One Take. Today, we're going to talk about the other F word. That's right, failure. That thing that all of us have experienced at least once, more than likely 1,000 plus times, though, throughout our lives. However, we're not going to get into the actual failure itself because I think most of us can come to agreement that failure is necessary in life. We learn from it. It makes us stronger, better, all those things. What I'm here to talk about is what's often left out of the equation or the conversation. And that's that memory of that failure or failures or times. Those things that are in the back of our minds that we just can't quite let go of. It still feels like yesterday. And even though we've learned our lesson from it and are better because of it, that memory of the failure still holds us back sometimes. And it keeps us from taking the risk, taking the chances, creating the opportunities that we can, or at least doing them more freely and more quickly. So, for example, I'm not a young man. I think that goes without saying, but there's still a very fresh memory in my mind, happened like it was yesterday. And it was way back in fourth grade in a small little Catholic school in beautiful and historic Overland, Missouri. That's right. And it was a spelling bee. We had to stand up in front of the class. Thankfully, it was just our class. But my word was enough. Now, needless to say, I did not study enough, and therefore I did not do well enough because I misspelled the word. I spelled it the way it sounds, the phonetic way. I still love the Phoenicians. We should follow that more, but anyway, different topic. So instead of spelling it correctly, I spelled it Enuff, which is very incorrect. Now, needless to say, I know how to spell enough now, but that stuck with me for a long time. And who knows what it impacted from a getting up in front of people perspective, even if it was just a delay. But the point is that was fourth grade, and I can still visualize the entire thing. Or take another example. When I was a freshman in high school, a rather large, all boys Catholic high school, I'm a skinny, scrawny little white kid, never lifted a weight in his life, but suddenly everyone wanted to go in the weight room one day when we were there in gym, and somebody racked up some weights for me on the bench press. And we're like, oh yeah, do this. And I pushed it, and my left arm gave way first, just a little bit, but just enough for the plates to go ding, and then the other to go ding. And because of the laws of gravity, that immediately flung up, and the other two on the other side fell off. And I was lying there holding a whole lot of embarrassment and an empty bar that still really didn't budge much off my chest. Now, that still feels like I can visualize that. And maybe more than likely held me back from any sort of weightlifting for a long time. Needless to say, I never stepped foot in that gym again. But that's where the problem lies, in that it's so hard sometimes to get rid of that memory, even if it's just in the back of your mind and impedes so much. So what's really cool is I saw a couple of years ago a Disney movie, and it's a great movie. It's called Luca. It's the reason why I have a 20-year-old red Vespa in my garage right now, which, by the way, is a ton of fun. But check it out sometime. But one of the things that they did in there, they talked about that, addressed it directly, and they came up with a line that voice in the back of your head that tells you not to do anything, that fear that's based on failure and things like that. And they came up with a line. They called it Silenzio Bruno. Yes, I know. It's a terrible, terrible Italian accent. But really what it is Silence Bruno. And Bruno was the voice that they came up with, or the name that they put to the voice in the back of their head. So throughout the movie, it was all about Silenzio Bruno. And they went to go to take a chance or do something they were afraid of or try something that they wanted to. And that's why you see the shirt. I had a couple shirts made, one for me to remind me, wear it once in a while, one for my 11-year-old stepson to remind him as well. And he loves the movie too. But anyway, I'm here to tell you that pick a name. It can be Jason. It's probably a good idea right now, Silenzio Jason. But whatever name you want to give to the voice in the back of your head that is subconsciously or even consciously keeping you from taking the risk, doing the things that you want to do, that you need to do, even if it slows you down in that decision-making process, you tell that thing to shut it, or Silenzio Bruno. Go out there, make it a day, Silenzio Bruno, and that's one take. Thank you.